Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? Because I most definitely am. The Trilogy Fight, July 10th, is almost upon us, and I can't be more freaking excited for this. I have been waiting on this since it's been announced, really, and the anticipation is just filling me up with joy. It's almost Red Panty Night, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, 2 days away, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Trilogy Fight of all trilogy fights. Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but I'm still super excited nonetheless. July 10 features the fight that we have all been waiting for, especially since it's been announced. I've been so excited for this, so hyped up. I'm ready to see what's gonna happen. This is the third and final bout between Conor, the notorious McGregor, versus none other than the Louisiana native himself, Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a quick look at what happened during the first fight. This is the first fight, 2014, and he rocks him. He takes him out. Just like that, it's all over. Conor McGregor defeats Dustin the Diamond Poirier in the first round inside of 60 seconds. He knocks him out TKO, and the fight is all over. Now let's take a look at how the second fight went that just happened this past year. He cracked him with that left hand and then an uppercut. Conor McGregor is trying to fight back, but to no avail. He is rocking him. And he buckles. He buckles from under. The first ever TKO of Conor McGregor. I wouldn't say he was fully knocked out, but he was knocked out nonetheless. Technical knockout, it's all the same difference. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, he does it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people thought that he would probably do this. I want to say that Conor McGregor was probably the only person in the world that thought that Conor McGregor was going to win that fight. Now, I must say that normally, excuse me. By the way, this is some good old Cafe Du Monde, chicory coffee from Louisiana, and this is the Louisiana native. And, okay, I am a Conor McGregor fan. I laugh at Conor McGregor, I make fun of him, but I'm a Conor McGregor fan, and also I'm a Dustin Poirier fan, not only because he is a Louisiana native like myself, but he's just an absolute beast of a fighter, man. And he will go out there in an all-out slobber knocker. He doesn't care. He's going to go in there and he's going to stand in the pocket with you. And he's going to box. And so I love both of these guys' fighting style. But, like I said, I think Conor McGregor was the only person that thought Conor McGregor was going to win. And you can even hear in the statements that he made after that and the people that were surrounding him that were saying that he was pretty much getting ready for a boxing match. And he kind of overlooked Dustin Poirier. Why would you do that? Nope. Why? I don't.
Oh man, you can't sit out here at this range and play with.
Okay, we got my little PowerPoint presentation. So I don't understand why Conor McGregor did that. He overlooked this guy. Like Dustin the Diamond Poirier hasn't been tearing through the lightweight division for the past few years, while Conor McGregor has been on a hiatus. I feel like it's pretty disrespectful of him to think that he was just gonna, wash through Dustin Poirier like he did. 5 years ago or whatever it is, 2014 in their first fight. They're two completely different fighters. Dustin Poirier hasn't taken really any time off, even though he pretty much fights, I want to say, for the most part, once a year. He's still been active, a lot more active than Conor McGregor. And, Conor McGregor paid for it. He absolutely paid for it. And so, like I said, the trilogy fight, Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, is going to be this Saturday, UFC 264. And what time is it gonna be? Saturday night. What time is it gonna be, McGregor? Huh? It's money time. What time is it, Dustin the Diamond Poirier? It's gonna be a red panty night. A red panty night for all, baby! So, win, lose, or draw, regardless, both of these men are gonna win big. They're gonna get a lot of money for it. It's the reason why Dustin Poirier passed up the fight with Charles Oliveira for the championship. He passed up a title fight, guys, to fight or to finish off this trilogy with Conor McGregor. Now, I have my thoughts on him passing that up. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So first off, let's just do a little bit of a tail of the tape. Conor McGregor, 32 years old, fighting out of Ireland. He 5'8". What's his reach? Doesn't have his reach on here. He has a pretty good reach, I'd imagine. 22 wins, 5 losses, 19 wins by TKO KO. 1 win by submission. Ooh, I did not know that. 2 wins by decision, 5 losses, 4 by submission. Conor McGregor, you've got to work on that ground game. If you think you're going to have any longevity in this sport as it keeps evolving and as people keep seeing your fights and finding out your shortcomings and your weaknesses, he needs to work on that ground game. I don't care what anybody says. Because not everybody is just gonna stand up there and just engage you, like, just box with you and kill each other to the death. Not everybody's gonna do that. They're gonna want to find ways to win over you. I'm pretty sure he. I'm pretty sure he already knows that. Taking it, whatever. Anyway, so 1 TKO loss from Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is the first man to ever knock Conor McGregor out. That's a pretty amazing thing to put on your record, barring if you want to discount the Floyd Mayweather exhibition match. He didn't really get knocked out, but they stopped the fight early. He did go a pretty good distance. Okay, now let's take a look at Dustin the Diamond Poirier. They're the same age, 32 years. He has an inch height advantage. He's fighting out of Louisiana, associated with the American top team, lightweight. 27 wins, 6 losses. So they have a pretty similar record. Dustin Poirier has a few more wins than Conor McGregor. But they have about the same amount of losses. Dustin Poirier has 1 more loss than McGregor. And like I said, a few more wins. So Dustin Poirier's losses are 2 by TKO, 2 by submission, and 2 by decision. But his wins are 13 by KO, TKO, 7 by submission, and 7 by decision. So, who wins? Who wins this fight? What are my thoughts? What are my opinions? So, going into that second fight, I don't think I completed my thought from earlier, but going into that second fight, I never bet against Conor McGregor unless he's against Khabib or unless he's against the hometown boy. And so in that last fight, I was going for Dustin Poirier, not only because, like I said, we're fellow Louisianians, also because Conor McGregor had taken a long layoff, even though he had fought Cowboy Cerrone in early 2020 or whatever. That was his only fight. That was his only fight that year. Let me see if I'm getting my facts right, because him and Poirier fought earlier this year, and Conor's only fight in 2020 was the Cowboy Cerrone fight. Yes, his only fight was the Cowboy Cerrone fight, and previous to that, he takes these 2-year layoffs. He had a loss against Khabib. He got submitted in the round 3, and so, like I said, I was going for Dustin Poirier, not only because of the Louisiana thing, but because Conor takes these long layoffs and he's not really moving and growing with the sport like everybody else's is. And I watched Dustin Poirier's fights. Let me just go ahead and pull up his record really quick. Yeah, I watched Dustin Poirier's fights, and this man is a beast. Like I said, he's a really good boxer, and I mean, he was just tearing through the division. Though he has a few 5 round decision wins, his one in 2020. He had a loss in 2019. He was submitted by Khabib. There was no way he was winning that fight anyway. He had a decision win against Max Holloway. And so, okay, really in 2021 is his most recent TKO. 2018, he had 2 TKO wins, one against Justin Gaethje, guys, and Eddie Alvarez. Just a stellar of a fight, you know. And he's basically been running, pretty much running through these guys. He beat Max Holloway twice. It was via decision. He beat Max Holloway twice. And so it's like, Conor McGregor coming back, not really doing too much fighting, focusing on a bunch of other things, focusing on his boxing. There was no way Conor McGregor was winning that fight, and it was pretty evident even in the first round of this last fight, the beginning of the year. Conor McGregor, he won the first round, but you could see Dustin Poirier stick to, whatever game plan he had, or kind of go with the flow of the fight, I guess you would call it. And so he softened him up with those leg kicks, and you could see how the fight was going to play out. Even though, like I said, Conor McGregor was outboxing him, he was outstriking him, he was working him in that clinch against the fence. Conor McGregor is pretty good against the fence, I must say, and people don't give him enough credit for his takedown defense. I think he's pretty good at his takedown defense. Now, if you're going to get somebody like a Khabib, then I didn't mean shit. But he has a pretty good takedown defense on the ground, though. That's a different story. Like I said earlier, Conor McGregor needs to work on that ground game because he'll get on the ground and he's able to get back up eventually. He has no problem doing that. But when he gets on the ground, he doesn't do anything. If he gets a top position, or if he gets into if he gets into a full guard or something, he'd rather give the position up. He's not going to stay there and do any ground and pound or anything, which I feel like will do him a great service. He can ground and pound. That will take him very far in these fights. And so he's, like I said, he's pretty decent on the ground. And in that last fight, the second fight with him and Dustin Poirier, he was winning up against the fence. He had a pretty good clinch. I love the shoulders that he's been implementing. But I want to say that's about the only new thing that Conor McGregor has shown us recently. Um, I feel like Conor McGregor has regressed as a mixed martial artist. I don't know if it's because of the layoff. I don't know if it's because he's focusing on his boxing and he's kind of forgot that he's in MMA, mixed martial arts. But seeing him in his last, I don't know, seeing him in his last fight, his last few fights, there's nothing really spectacular or new that we're seeing coming from Conor McGregor, and you can slowly see him go away from that all the kicks that he used to throw and the versatility that he would bring to the fights that would throw the fighters off. You don't see that too much anymore. And in his last fight, I was super surprised at the lack of movement of Conor McGregor. Normally he's like in and out of there, he's walking you down. Now he still walked Dustin Poirier down, but he wasn't really moving out of the way, and especially of those leg kicks. Now, normally you see Conor McGregor throwing his own leg kicks in the fight, and his spinning wheelhouse kicks, and his front kick, kind of trying to take the knee out or whatever. He didn't do that in this last fight. He stood in front of Dustin Poirier and let Dustin chop him down like an axe murderer or something. It was very astonishing to see. And this isn't me trying to take anything away from Dustin Poirier. I mean, I knew Dustin Poirier was going to win that fight anyway, because Dustin Poirier is a dog, he's a little peahead hillbilly, in the words of Connor McTapper. But yeah, so like I said, who wins this fight? You know, it's always 50-50. Anybody could win. From the prediction that I have been saying, most people are saying Conor, only because that they feel like his career is pretty much over if he loses this trilogy fight. Mystic Mac, no more. If Conor McGregor loses this trilogy fight, I I don't think that's true. Like I said, he's pretty young. He's 32. He's got a good couple of years ahead of him and Dustin Poirier. And so if he loses this fight, I don't think it's over. But most people are predicting that Conor McGregor is going to win this fight and Dustin Poirier is going to lose. I want to say, well, I wouldn't say most people. I'd say it's about 50-50. But the people that are saying Conor is going to win, they're saying Conor is going to win because blah, blah, blah. And the people that are saying Dustin Poirier is going to win is because, I mean, he's just a better fighter than Conor McGregor and because they're pretty fresh off of this last fight and they don't think that Conor McGregor is going to change much about uh his fighting style or whatever. I think that Conor McGregor is gonna come out here like he did in the Nate Diaz fight, and Conor McGregor is a very smart guy. He didn't get this far, by being a dummy or just a pretty face or whatever. He's definitely gonna make the necessary changes that he needs to in this fight. But at the end of the day, he's not gonna get a new heart in these past. He's not gonna get a new heart in these past couple months since the second fight. Why do I say that? I don't think Conor McGregor has the heart to fight in these wars. That's probably one of the reasons why, other than the fact that he's a skilled striker, one of the reasons why his fights don't really go past 2 rounds. It's, I mean, and people say this all the time. Uh, if this fight goes past 1 round, the odds of Conor McGregor winning slowly dwindles. And I don't know why do they say that. I think, like I said, it's because he doesn't have the will. Like he's not a Dustin Poirier or a Justin Gaethje or a Max Holloway who's just gonna stand there and he's gonna box you. He's not really gonna do that. You saw a little bit of it in the Nate Diaz second fight, but also at the same time he was kind of running away from that fight especially in the last round. He was like checking the clock. He was pretty gassed, even though I believe his stamina has greatly improved since that Nate Diaz second fight. You know, you can even see it in that second round when he got KO'd. When Conor McGregor got KO'd. It's like the I don't know, the heart his heart kind of just sank to his ass and he pooped it out. He sat there and he got beat up. He could have fought back. I don't know what was happening. Maybe it had something to do with the leg kicks. I don't think it was. Well, it could have something to do with your power because if you're using your legs to kind of get a little to put a little bit more behind those punches, maybe you couldn't do that. But you know, Connor doesn't have the heart. He's not a he's not a like a street fighter or anything. He's got the skill. He's got all the skills in the world. Even from doing a little research for this video, watching his previous fights, Conor McGregor, listen, if he'd have stayed in this sport and he'd have kept accelerating at the pace that he had been, Conor McGregor could still be undefeated, but he just needs to work on. He's still got to work on a few things, and I feel like he got a big head, and he started to feel himself, and he forgot that there are hungrier lions out there that want to eat too. And so, who wins this fight? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I, I have a person in mind, but I want to watch the press conference, and I want to see. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you let me know in the comment section below, who do you think this fight favors? I don't have a real winner right now that I want to predict, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless. Thank you guys.